with iron pyrite. My Steven School Alchemy YouTube channel. Subscribe for updates. Do not try this at home. I've got my coffee. Try to get my laptop doing, yeah. Got iron pyrite. Firing up the laptop. I get the laptop online so I can see the comments as I start doing my alchemy work. I need to get a new sunshade. The old umbrella I had was damaged in one of my alchemy experiments. You may have seen the video on YouTube. All right. Let me scroll down to the comments section. All right. Now I should be able to see the comments, although it's really bright out here. So what I've got, I'm going to use this jar for my extraction. I'm going to use this mortar and pestle to do the grinding. And I'm going to work on this iron pyrite. The live feed doesn't look that good in the computer. It might be because I need a sunshade. Is the sun too bright? Alright. I'm going to start grinding this up. I'm going to scroll up and check the quality of the video. I don't know, it looks a bit funny on my laptop screen. Alright. Coffee is what I need. Grinding iron pyrite. coffee is needed for me. Interesting specimen of pyrite. I just was about to crush it up. This has got some interesting colors in it. The outside bulk of it looks like a silvery color, like lead. But down in these craters, it's got the bright, shiny yellow like gold. And it's got cubic shaped crystals down in there. Nice. I'm gonna have to wash my hands after this. I probably should be wearing gloves. I'm gonna grind it up and do some alchemy with it. This is the pyrite I got from Crystal River Gems on Etsy. I found it by doing a Google search for bulk iron pyrite for sale. I'm not selling mine, no. Some people seem to get confused about that. I'm just letting people know where I got it, because a lot of people ask. There's a bigger chunk. They sold this to me by the kilo. And I want to say, I think it was roughly $15.80 a kilo, something like that. I think it. I bought 5 kilos, and I think it came out to like 11 pounds. And I paid about $80. It was shipping. They sent it fast though. I paid for the super slow, extra slow shipping that was cheapest, but they sent it 2 day shipping. So I got it in 2 days, which was cool. Grinding up iron pyrite for my alchemy. This is metal acetate path alchemy is what it's called. Some people, what's the word? Some people do not agree on whether or not iron pyrite is a metal. So I'm not really trying to dispute that either way. But this type of alchemy is called the metal acetate path, and I'm doing it with iron pyrite. And this leads the way to my green lion of alchemy that I found. Takes a lot of grinding. I think in the old days, in medieval times, when people like Theophrastus Paracelsus were around doing alchemy, um, he did a lot more work on it because he said he ground the material as fine as the painters grind the colors. That is intense grinding. That's traditional, and I've heard other modern alchemists say that they do that too. In this, I'm not grinding it as fine as the painters grind the colors. I could, but this is just my way of doing it. I'm just preparing for the extraction of the green lion. And the pyrite is kind of crumbly, which in my opinion is good. So I think the menstruum will continue to break it down after I put the menstruum in the vessel, in the glass. It should help to break it down a little bit more. Dissolving, because this stuff is crumbly, which is nice. See how much I've got going in here. It's going pretty quick. It's going pretty good. Now this piece of iron pyrite has some interesting white stuff on it. Could be, maybe it's quartz. Maybe this was broken out of a quartz vein. Some type of white substance there that looks like a mineral or a crystal. It's white in color. I don't know what to call it. It's an interesting substance. As I dissolve and coagulate, I usually see a white material develop. It could be that stuff. Could it be the white stone of the alchemist already forming? Was nature forming this into the white stone in the ground? It could be. I was just guessing at quartz, but it actually hard to say. It actually looks like it's not quartz. It could be, but I'm thinking that maybe it's not. It's a white material that kind of looks waxy a bit. So this bag of pyrite should have about 6 pounds. It should have been about 6 pounds in there, I'm thinking, at 2.5 kilos. and I don't think I'm halfway through it yet, but I've got a good bit in the jar, although I want more than that. Yeah. Some of it grinds easier than other pieces. The shiny yellow crumbly ones are my favorite. Had to get me a little more coffee. It's getting warm out here. There's a big chunk back here. Let's get into a better amount. Getting a little bit better. I think that's a good amount. I think I'm gonna start with that. This is how much I have left in the bag. That's what I've got in the jar. Now it's time. I'm gonna work on my menstruum. I've noticed that there are subtle changes in the work. The outcome can be different if I make subtle changes. Like, let's see. For instance, if I put this in first and this second, the reaction is different and the outcome is different. I normally start with this one. It's just the way I've always almost always done it. And then also, if I put the pyrite rocks in whole as opposed to grinding them first, that in my experience has caused a different outcome as well. This is just store-bought vinegar. I would not try this at home. I have researched this and spoken about it in some of my other videos about mixing these two ingredients, these two liquids, and that it creates parasitic acid, and there are some hazards or concerns about that. So it's best to research about that stuff, but do not try this at home. All right. Now my coffee. And now I'm going to grab a covering for the top. And I'll be right back. Alright, I've got some plastic wrap here that I'm going to use. In the past, I have used coffee filters with rubber bands to create a breathable dust cover to allow expanding gases to escape while keeping the dirt and insects out. On this one, I'm going to use the plastic wrap, but I'm going to cover it lightly and loosely so that if there are expanding gases, they can find vent without cracking the glass. I've seen the glass crack before, and we don't want that. So now what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to let this sit and wait until it extracts. All this material is stirred up in the jar. It'll settle, it'll extract, the vinegar will become colored, as it says in the writings of Theophrastus Paracelsus. all that vinegar being colored. So I'm going to move this out of the way. And over there we have the sun dome. We could take a look at that while we're here. It is another Green Lion alchemy experiment. And just drag that over here. Now, when I found my Green Lion of alchemy, most of, or pretty much actually, well, most of my work back then, I was using an electric hot plate to do the evaporations outdoors. Um, I had started them indoors in the wintertime due to the weather, but I discovered that it created a strange green mold in the house that was settling or forming on everything. I mean, it was getting into everything and just forming all over the place, and it was nasty. So I discovered that the evaporations had to be done outdoors, and most of my original alchemy work that I started years ago. Um, as I said, I did most of the evaporations outdoors on electric hot plate, and then I developed Sun Dome. I've actually made a few of them over the years, and this is just as a solar evaporation, a solar coagulation. I see a bit of a peacock's tail in here. Interesting. I can see a mist arising off of the liquid evaporating. The sun dome is quite efficient. However, what I said about subtle changes in the work, differences, if I use the sun dome, the outcome is different than if I use electric hot plate to do the evaporation and coagulation. I've done them in sand bath. I've done them in retort. The sun dome, the finished product, looks different at the end, but I do still see some green in there and some peacock's tail. So let's see the extraction vessel. This is the extraction vessel that goes to this experiment. The other one that I just prepared is going to be for a new experiment, basically reproducing my older works, but in a slightly more refined way. With the years, as time passes, I would say the alchemist gets better. I've learned more. I understand things better. So this has a white material forming, extracting. I don't think it's forming, I think it's extracting. I've got this labeled Sun Dome Alchemy because it's the extraction jar that goes to the Sun Dome. It is on the 14th extraction. 14th turn of the alchemical wheel. And it is snowing in there. This material is still extracting. I just saw a glint of peacock's tail in the extraction vessel. Interesting. While we are here, I'm tempted to say do an imbibition, but I don't want to rush it because in the old alchemy manuscripts, they say some of them, I think it was the Rec Herm, mentioned at dryness the matter is wetted again. It recommend achieving the dryness before the imbibition, and this matter has not yet reached dryness. So, with the efficiency of this sun dome, it probably won't be a long time until it does reach dryness. I'm seeing a nice peacock's tail. I want to take the camera off the tripod and show a bit of that. See if we can get that in the camera on the film. I also need to clean the sun dome. Look at that. All right. This is Alchemy of Steven School. Do not try this at home. Subscribe for updates. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.